Take a look. There's a little surprise in there for you.
Oh, I know. I know which one. It's the crazy serrated one, right? Yep.
What the?
This is one that at some point I would like to test, just to see what happens. Large serrations like this, normally I expect them to kind of get caught and stop the cut, but it feels quite good actually. This is nice and light.
The anime logic aside, but it looks more like a blade breaker.
Well, not breaker, but catcher.
Catcher.
You might even be able to use this as an offhand weapon to catch. That would definitely work. Aggressively strike into the opponent's blade and just kind of hook it and pull it down and then thrust or something like that. That could totally work. Yeah. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Doesn't he use 2 of those?
He does. He dual wields them.
So that would actually make sense.
Something for aesthetic value. Try that.
I was just gonna get to the.
It is very pointy, even though it's not very sharp.
Okay.
They look cool, but the chain of self-defeating. This would be really awkward to work around. Constantly having that chain there. It's like you. I mean, okay, if I step in and cut, I'm not gonna stumble over the chain as such, but I also don't know how you would use it. I haven't seen it in action, so I don't know how it's used in the anime. That, I can actually kind of see some practical value in it. Because the thing is, you wouldn't cut there anyway. You know, with a blade of this length, you want to cut above it, right about here. So that's not actually a problem, and this way, again, you can sort of catch. So I don't mind that, and this actually saves some weight right there. So that's, it may look funky, but I can kind of see that. It's not really a bad design. I don't know of anything in history that looks anything like that. Oh, no, I got you. You throw it, and then you pull it out of the opponent's body by the chain. Now we're cooking with brain power. What is that? I kind of see what happened there. They took a small sword, and then they duplicated the rings and made them go all around, which means now they don't work anymore for their intended practical function. But it looks nice. I mean, you can't argue with that. Aesthetics matter the most when it's fantasy. Of course they do. So this makes practically no sense because, okay, now we've got all these extra pieces that don't add anything because you've already got this right here. This is your guard. You don't need that.
Mix between a katana and a rapier.
Oh, that's the idea. When I looked at it, I was actually thinking small sword, except like...
They are from One Piece as well.
Saber meets spadroon, kind of. That's a vibe that I'm getting here. The blade is more like a saber, but then you've got, you know, the knuckle guard and this disc here in particular. It looks a lot like a small sword or a spadroon, except they took the finger rings and just kept going with them. So normally you can put your finger through. It's not really happening here. I have to say though, it's much lighter than I expected. I was thinking, because you've got all this stuff, it adds extra weight that doesn't really do anything in particular. Other than, I can see like a very risky scenario where you catch a thrust here through the rings. If you manage that, that's great because now you've got the opponent's blade trapped and you can pretty much finish them off. But if you kind of mistime it or you miss it by just a couple of centimeters, you catch the thrust right in your hand. So there's that. But overall, I was expecting this to be a lot heavier than it needs to be because of that. But no, not really. This doesn't add a whole lot. I feel like if you took half those rings, maybe even more, and turned them into a crossguard, you end up with about the same weight distribution. The crossguard would do more for protection, but this looks cool. I'll give it that. This looks pretty awesome, actually. I do not mind this at all. In fact, I like it a lot.
Oh dear.
This might actually be my favorite so far of the ones we've looked at. It's a hand and a quarter. No. Yeah, I like it. That's pretty cool. Now this, on the other hand, also one piece. I do not like this. Oh boy. Okay, let me show you the problem. See this? That goes right in your wrist. Ouch. Yeah, okay. I don't know how this is intended. I know. It's anime. I get it, okay? I understand, but if I grip it high, it goes past the wrist, just about. I just don't understand why it's there, because it doesn't do anything. If you want to just attach the guard here, it doesn't need to go through. It really doesn't. It just needs to stop there. And then why not go all the way? I mean, there are some historical swords that do that have like a half knuckle guard. So fair enough, but I'm confused by this, which is a shame because the handle is actually quite nice. I really like the handle wrap in and of itself. The classic katana wrap, I'm not a fan of. You know, with the way the knots feel, this is actually pretty good. I don't mind that. The shape is good. So, I mean, it's an easy enough fix. Just chop this off and you're good to go.
That thing is just
Yeah, what were they thinking?
It looks cool, that's what they were thinking.
It doesn't though.
I mean,
it doesn't look cool. I would get it if this was something to make it look cooler, but it just looks goofy. I kind of like the proportions of this one as a short sword, or maybe it's just because it's green, but that's pretty neat. It's weirdly broad, but I kind of like it. It's a mean little chopper. It's this kind of thing where you would struggle to get past someone's defense if they have a longer blade, but if you do, they're in trouble. It's pretty clunky for the size, but like it's still usable.
Something this short shouldn't be this heavy.
So it's quite a nice handle. I don't mind the knots on this one. They're softer than usual. Like they're not, I don't notice them as much. Interesting. And possible blade catchers here.
Yeah.
Okay, this is actually something that scares me.
Hold that thing away from me, will you?
Oh, yeah, those are very pointy. It doesn't have an edge, it's not sharpened, but those are mean.
I mean, what would it need an edge for?
Yeah,
You can't
right?
cut with this.
No, you can't. This is just pure penetration, which is brutal because each one is like a miniature war pack. Personally, if I wanted to redesign this, I would skip that part, the non-blackened, and just have those be longer.
In the anime, that's how it's done, and in the anime, it actually stretches out when it goes.
I mean, I guess there's something to be said about this length because it's not as likely to get stuck. Because like, if you hit a body with this and this goes behind the ribs, that's stuck. That's hella stuck.
Yeah, it's like one-shot kill. That's
Yeah.
Get another weapon.
But it's brutal, and it would take very little effort. It's just like, you're dead. For a sword, this would be clunky, but it's still totally fine. Like this is not a terribly ridiculous weight. I mean, if you fought a sword with this, then yeah, you would be at a disadvantage just in terms of speed and whatnot, but it's doable, if you keep it moving. I didn't realize that the Afro Samurai Tachi was this strongly curved. That is hella curved, technical term. Let me see if I can kind of show just how strongly curved it is. This might be even more strongly curved than the Shamshir. Just the blade, and then the handle is also curved. So this feels so weird. It's so slicey. What is even the effective reach of that? It's like here. You're pretty much at punching distance by the time you can use it. Because you have more blade, but since it curves away so much, It's not exactly a reach kind of weapon. I don't know how this is supposed to work. Okay, you can hold it here, in which case you have a gigantically oversized ring pommel. But it's wrapped here, so are you supposed to hold on to it like this? What?
I have a stupid idea.
Oh?
Because this is a classic.
Oh no!
Yes.
Oh no! The helicopter of death.
This is a different.
Oh boy.
This is a dance implement.
I can't really think of any other way to operate this. It's actually sort of, I mean, it doesn't really work, but sort of. I don't know.